After about 2 decades spent within the ranks of FC Barcelona, it looks like there is a very, very strong possibility that Lionel Messi could be leaving the club. I'm Adrian and welcome to Rabona TV's explainer video on the insane Lionel Messi situation that is unfolding before our eyes. I've scoured the internet for as much information as possible from the most credible sources I could find to deliver you a 4-part video where we'll start with where the rumors first began back in February, which I made a video on, and what happened with the burofax. Then we'll move on to an explanation of his contract clause and the legal grounds that Messi will hope to benefit from, then speak of the club and the board's reaction to Messi's request and their options, and we'll wrap things up speaking about clubs he could choose to go to. Speaking of my sources, they're all linked in the description if you want to check them out yourself, but other than that, we're on our way. Talk of Messi leaving Barcelona first came to the fore in January and February when it was believed that Messi was disillusioned with the board and the direction of the club. There was also his public spat with Eric Abidal, a rare public spat as Messi took to Instagram to contest the allegations that Abidal made in an interview, saying that the players had stopped playing for Valverde and stuff like that, which Messi vehemently denied on his Instagram story. Again, I did a video on that at the beginning of February, which has been linked below. Granted, at that time, it didn't seem like Messi would actually leave, so that video was called Humoring Rumors, but still, it had a nice encapsulation of what was going on back then, talked about City's various passes at Messi, etc. So you can imagine how Messi feels now after a trophyless season, where they ended with an absolute embarrassment at the hands of Bayern Munich, which compounded the previous 2 seasons as well, where they squandered leads against AS Roma and Liverpool, only to be eliminated thanks to a lifeless second leg in the Champions League. And so following that embarrassment from Bayern Munich, Setien was sacked, Abidal was sacked, and Koeman was brought in, bringing with him stories of the Dutchman informing many senior Barcelona players that they don't have a place in his vision anymore, which allegedly infuriated Messi even further and pushed him over the edge. No arrival of Neymar, that's annoying to him, which Messi was dying for. His boy Suarez allegedly getting the boot alongside some of the other senior members. The president, Bartomeu, not stepping down or calling for elections. All of this and more leads to the place that we're at now. And so the media started regurgitating the stories about Messi wanting to leave Barcelona, with the most prominent suggestion coming from the very reputable Brazilian journalist Marcelo Bechler, who is based in Barcelona. By the way, Bechler was the first to announce that Neymar was leaving Barcelona to go to PSG, so he has a ton of credibility. But even when Bechler reported that Messi had decided he wants to leave Barcelona on August 16th, much of the reaction, mine included, was, no way. This is yet another ploy for him to either have more of a say in the running of the club or to force Bartomeu out, and he will inevitably stay for at least the remainder of his contract. But almost exactly 10 days later, however, Bechler was completely vindicated as his claims were confirmed to be true. How were they confirmed to be true, though? Not by fax, or at least the classic fax, as initially had spread across the internet, but by burofax, which, as Spanish football journalist Sid Lowe writes, is a type of letter that the receiver has to sign off upon receiving it so that there is a legal record of them receiving the letter, which in Lionel Messi's case, given the fact that he informed them that he wants to leave the club immediately and for free, is extremely important. Another question, why is this important? Well, because there is now a legal, dated, and time-stamped record of Lionel Messi notifying Barcelona of his intentions, which, if this is to go to court, that is a very important aspect. In this burofax that was apparently received at 7:20 p.m. local time, Messi claimed that he intended to leave Barcelona this summer, not in 2021, and that he could legally terminate his contract unilaterally. Shortly after the news broke, Barcelona legend Carlos Puyol tweeted, "Respect and admiration, Leo, all of my support, friend." Luis Suarez replied to the tweet, applauding Puyol's sentiment, adding even more legitimacy to the situation at hand. But wait, how can Messi pull this off? Wasn't there something in the clause that stipulated he has to signal his intent to leave before June or something like that? So, as for Messi's contract, as it stands right now, it runs until June of 2021 and has a €700 million release clause attached to it. That's all very simple, but there is an added part that is causing much of the confusion and hysteria, which Messi himself apparently insisted on including upon signing his most recent renewal back in 2017. It went from 2017 until 2021. This clause gives Messi the option to unilaterally terminate his contract and leave on a free transfer if he was to inform the club of his decision by June 10th, as many sources I've listed in the description below will tell you. Apparently, according to an article from The Athletic's Dermot Corrigan, he's one of their La Liga reporters, Ed Malin, David Ornstein, and more, they really got the A-team together for this one. They claim that, with the season prolonged due to COVID-19, that date came and went without Barcelona finishing their season, which finally reached its conclusion with their Champions League humiliation at the hands of Bayern on August 14th. Messi's can't believe that the interruption and subsequent extension to the season granted him until the end of August to exercise the termination clause, meaning that the facts sent to Barcelona on Tuesday would serve as legal notice of his intention to rip up his contract and leave the club on a free transfer. So basically, Messi and his legal team believe that since the season was suspended to the point where there was no way that it could have finished before June 10th, La Liga only returned on June 11th. So there was unprecedented circumstances due to the pandemic, circumstances that they believe alter the clause of the contract. The end of the season was changed, as should the interpretation of the contract, to make it so that Messi had until the end of August to notify the Barcelona board of his intention. Now, the reason as to why they believe this, the way that they see it, allegedly at least, is that if the pandemic had struck in 2021 instead, Barcelona would have expected him to honor his contract until the end of the season, to see out the season. And Messi himself would have been compliant, meaning that the same sort of extension should be applied to the clause this season as well, given the, again, unprecedented circumstances due to the pandemic. But this will all be dependent upon the wording of the clause itself. If it explicitly says that he had until June 10th or May 31st to notify Barcelona, both dates get thrown around, by the way. But anyways, then he may have screwed himself over. But if it says end of season or something along those lines, then he could be moving elsewhere. And so, what does the club and the board think of this? After Barcelona had confirmed that they received the letter from Messi, an emergency meeting was called, of which there has been varying news stories to come out from it. Some said that the board had decided Bartomeu should resign in order to get Messi to stay, then apparently Bartomeu said he wouldn't resign, etc., etc. There's a lot of hearsay, so we'll ignore that sort of hearsay and focus on what's important now. Barcelona have apparently stood firm in saying that they will not negotiate a deal for Messi to leave. They expect him to honor his contract until 2021, June of 2021, and again, by negotiating a deal, they mean that they will not sell him for anything lower than his €700 million release clause. If someone wants him this summer, they have to pay €700 million. Otherwise, from the Barca board's point of view, Messi will be there to see out his contract. Of course, if neither side is willing to budge, then the club and player could find themselves in a costly legal battle and would thus bring a very ugly and sad end to Lionel Messi's Barcelona career. Well, not that him leaving for free after a disaster season with no fans to play for and a drubbing in their final match would be a beautiful end. Hard to be a beautiful end with a season such as the 2019-20 season, but at least it would be free of Messi going to court with the club of his heart. What a shame if that was to be his last match. So, what are the choices? They could negotiate a sale, which is probably the nicest way for this to end for all parties involved, as it could also help Barcelona with their debt problem. Or they can negotiate some sort of termination of his contract. Or they can refuse to comply with Messi. Another option is Bartomeu could step down, as there were some reporters, such as Albert Roguet, that believe that this is all a ploy from Messi in order to force Bartomeu out, and if it is, hasn't worked. During a second meeting between Bartomeu, Executive Director Oscar Grau, Javier Bordas, and Sporting Director Ramon Planes, tons of Barcelona fans crowded outside the FC Barcelona offices and later stormed through the gates, overpowering security and chanting for Bartomeu's head, as you can see from this clip posted by journalist David Ibanez, which I have also linked below. Go give him and all the other journalists I mentioned a follow, by the way. They'll keep you right up to date. Another journalist, Alfredo Martinez, who is considered tier 1 for Barcelona news, an extremely credible source, he has said that Messi has made his mind up already, and even the resignation of Bartomeu won't change his mind, adding that, to really punctuate things, that Messi will not wear the Barcelona shirt ever again. And I mean, he may have a point. If Messi truly wanted to stay at Barcelona, then he could just wait out Bartomeu, given that the chances of his re-election seem to be extremely slim, if not non-existent. Guys, just a quick addition as I'm editing the video. As of Thursday afternoon, football journalist Josep Capdevila claimed that Bartomeu said he's willing to step down if Messi will publicly agree to continue with Barcelona. I don't know how much there is to really read into this, as it sort of smacks of Bartomeu trying to save face in a sort of, well, I did all that I could, I even offered to give up my job, but Messi just wants to leave so badly. It sort of makes Messi come off as the bad guy, while Bartomeu is the guy that tried everything, and he couldn't convince Messi to stay, so don't blame him. But yeah, just thought I should include that. And so, if Messi is to leave, which shirt could he be wearing? Where Messi heads next is a bit complicated, as there is a lot that we don't know and a lot to still unfold before us. For example, we don't know 100% if he is going to be able to leave. We don't have a 100% official confirmation yet that he is leaving, and Messi himself hasn't spoken publicly about this. He hasn't rubbished these claims as he did with Abidal back at the end of January, early February. And what makes it even harder to say as to where he will end up is that we don't know whether he will be leaving on a free, or if Barcelona will cave and negotiate his sale, or if he will be leaving via his €700 million release clause. The latter, honestly, it seems ridiculous, and I don't think that in the financial fair play age, it could ever really be facilitated. Mind you, there are quite clearly some ways around financial fair play. PSG has come up a lot, as they of course were behind the top 2 most expensive transfers in football history, Neymar and Mbappe, but could they also afford Messi? Maybe if they send Neymar the other way? I mean, I don't know. I find it hard to see that, and for me, there's just so much smoke surrounding the Manchester City rumors. And where there's smoke... But what we do know is that there has been various reports that Messi has considered transferring to Manchester City on a few occasions in the past, like 2016, as I had covered in my video on Messi leaving for Manchester City back in February of this year. That video basically spoke of how City have always held some hope that they will eventually have a chance at bringing Messi to Manchester, and when they do, they'll be ready for it, even if it is sort of an outside hope. And now there are multiple sources alleging that Messi's camp began a dialogue with Manchester City following Barcelona's Champions League exit, and that Ferran Soriano of City and his team have begun running the numbers and assessing the plausibility of signing Lionel Messi. Again, if their only option is to pay the $700 million release clause, then a move for Messi is almost impossible. They won't go for it. But according to Francesc Aguilar, Soriano has let Messi's camp know that should they need to negotiate a transfer fee, they have the financial capabilities to do so, about €300 million to spend this summer, apparently. Though he also mentions that City believe they will get Messi for free if they are to get him at all. So take from that what you will. Another rumor places Messi at Inter Milan. One places him at Manchester United, though apparently United have said they are not in for Messi. Juve have said they're not in for Messi. PSG is going to provide an offer. But by all accounts, Manchester City and a reunion with Pep Guardiola is by far the most popular rumored destination, and seems like the most plausible one as well. A plausibility that Marcelo Bechler himself has signed off on, saying that Messi has chosen Manchester City as his next club. And that's about all that we know for now. It really does feel like this is more than just a ploy to get Bartomeu out, if you ask me, which, as I said, if he really didn't want to leave Barcelona, then he could stay until Bartomeu inevitably loses the next Barcelona presidential election. We'll see, but one thing's for certain. He doesn't owe Barcelona anything anymore. He has done everything for the club, won them every title they possibly could, bringing in an ungodly amount of money due to his brand and publicity, and has stayed with them for over 16 and a half years of senior team football. And I can't help but feel a little bit sad for him if this is how his time with the club is to end. He deserved a better send-off than that. If you enjoyed this video, then a like is appreciated, and if you learned something new, then consider subscribing so you can find your way back to us much more easily. I'm Adrian, thank you for spending your valuable time with me, and I'll hopefully see you in the next video. Ciao!